bitch is shaking the table.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Shaking the Table podcast with Lauren Taylor. First of all, I just want to shout out all my loyal subscribers and all the people who shared my podcast on your social media. I hope every single one of y'all listening right now already followed me and subscribed to the podcast and all that jazz, like reach one, teach one, Jeremy. Anyway, the reason we are gathered here today is to talk about something that's really been bothering me. Like, y'all, this has really been hitting my spirit. And I'm saying that with my chest because this subject has me in my bag, okay? And I want to say, I really can't stand fake-ass women empowerment type people. Like, you know those women who claim to be like the damn pinnacle of feminism and sisterhood and all that, but like they're really not. Like, I've noticed a lot of these same women spend their time dragging other women and they spend their time pulling other women down. And it's like, for what? What did you gain from that? You know the Gabby Union meme when she's like, did you get the clicks? Did you get the likes? Did you get the engagement? Like, that's me to some of y'all because y'all just be blowing me. Oh my God. Case in point, you ever have a woman in your field or like out there pursuing something that you're interested in and like, you let her know in the past, like, hey, I admire you, I look up to you, or whatever you said, and she just completely played with you and just brushed you off. And you can tell she's being shady because, like, you know, as women, we know when another woman is being petty. We know when another woman is being shady. And you're just like, damn, maybe she just doesn't want to help me. But then you see her online posting all this women empowerment stuff and talking about black girl magic and all that and talking about how she's helping these other women and guiding these other women. And you're like, hello?
What the fuck? What the fuck, girl?
And my thing is this. Like, if you claim to be all about sisterhood and supporting women, like, support all women. Ride for all women. Like, sisterhood is bigger than just your circle of friends, y'all. Like, sisterhood is literally protecting and supporting all women. So if you're not doing that, then you're not practicing what you preach. And I'm calling you out on it. Like, you aren't being a good sister. And granted, this is all something that we can all brush up on. And it definitely comes with, like, growth, age, maturity, all that good stuff. But in this episode, I want to talk about the fact that Black women really have to do better. And I'm holding myself accountable, and I'm also holding y'all accountable because I told y'all that was one of the goals in 2019 is to hold one another accountable and call one another out on bullshit. And now I'm calling bullshit because I find it incredibly frustrating that Black women should be able to lean on one another and look to each other for support and guidance. And a lot of time, these women are not supportive. And I'm saying that from my perspective because this is something that I've noticed. So if y'all don't agree, again, go be great in your lavender. Exit out of my shit right now. Like, these women, in my opinion, are not the mentors and the guiding lights that they make themselves out to be. And it just hurts to be the person who reached out and continues to get swerved. Not particularly by one person, maybe it's a group of people, whatever, but like, to reach out to another Black woman and say, hey, you know, I think you're amazing. I think you're dope. Like, let's work together and get swerved. That hurts. And I would love for all of us to call each other out respectfully when we aren't being good sisters. And so with that in mind, I think we need to do another one of those like accountability lists that I did in my first episode. And so this one I'm calling hashtag check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because today, all of us are going to check ourselves and we're going to learn how to be better sisters to one another. And it's just going to be a reality check because it's gone on too long and I'm tired of it. So let's get started. First and foremost, baby girl, stop feeling like you're in competition with women who are in the same major career field. They have the same passions as you, etc. with you, because you aren't in competition with anybody else. Like, you're in competition with yourself and yourself only. And that's something that I learned at a very young age. Like, don't ever compare yourself to anyone in this life because you have no idea what the fuck people have gone through, nor are you aware of the obstacles that they're facing at this exact moment. So like I tell my friends, mind your edges and mind your business. And I'm going to say that again for the folks in the back. Mind your edges and mind your damn business. Like, we really need to stop worrying about the next woman outshining us and being better than us at something and just do us. And I saw this video on Instagram from Lala Milan. And first of all, I love her. I love her because she just speaks the truth. But in this clip, she said, and I'm going to quote it exactly how she said it. You're so busy afraid that I'm going to take the spot when there's so much space, and you're trying to withhold all the knowledge you have from me, and I'm going to learn it with or without you because of that hunger. And if you're as hungry as me and you stop trying to starve everybody around you, we can all eat. And when she said that, it really yoked me up because I'm like, wow. Nowadays, women are like stopping bags or whatever we call it because we are intimidated by someone else, or maybe we just don't want people to be better than us. And that's understandable, but at some point we all got to grow the fuck up and then just decide, okay, either we're going to get this bag together, like I'm going to work with her, she's going to help me, and we're going to grow together, or I'm going to continue to be the bitter bitch that I am and try to stop her bag. It's like, why do all of that when you could just get the bag together? You know what I'm saying? Because like society already compares women as is. Case in point, since we talk about stopping bags, look at Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. People are really acting like there can only be one queen of rap. When you got 11 men out here rapping about the same thing, doing the same thing. Like, imagine what their revenue would be like if they did an album together. Or if they said, you know what, let's tour together. You have your songs, I have my songs. Let's make some shit shake, you know what I'm saying? But instead, it's like bickering and shoe throwing back and forth, all because the media and the industry, like, puts them against each other. And I don't understand, like, in a society that already compares women, already puts women down, why are we as women doing the same thing? And I say we because we all do it. Or let me say this, we all have done it. But now I think we need to learn from those mistakes and say, okay, if you and another woman share the same goals, find out how you can collaborate. Find out how y'all can combine your talents, your visions, your resources, whatever it is you bring to the table, and work together. Because the way I see it, the more women that compete against each other and go head to head like that, the more, number one, we all lose. And number two, the more opportunity and room we make for men to continue to dominate these industries. Like, we got 30 women all trying to be number one. And the 30 men are out here cooling because at the end of the day, like, they can be number one, number two, number three, all the way down to number 30. Like, why is there only space for one top woman? No matter what industry you're in, there's always one head honcho, one woman that everyone tries to be like. But it's like you have 30, 40, 50 slots for men. Like, no, fuck that. Like, women, if you're listening to this, we revolt at midnight because I'm sick of this shit. Like, let's make it make sense for once. Like, us fighting and bringing each other down is really not going to do anything because we all sound goofy as hell. Like, think about how goofy you sound comparing yourself to another woman or tearing down another woman just to bring yourself up and bring her down.
Ooh, child, the must.
Like, that shit is ridiculous. And I'm tired of it. And I'm calling everybody out. Like, I know this episode, if you're listening at home, probably sounds corny as hell because, like, we're supposed to be in the year of the women. We're supposed to be living in a time where women are taking back power and blah, blah, blah. But, like, are we really? Because how are we reclaiming power as women when we're the ones taking it away from one another? Make that shit make sense. All women do, especially, like, on platforms like the Shade Rooms, I be seeing in the comments, like, the main people that be talking shit about a lot of the celebrity women are women. Like, Jessie Woo was just talking about this the other day on Instagram. Like, she came forward about her being raped by someone in the music industry. And the main people in the comments, like, questioning her character, questioning the incident, basically calling her a liar, a flat out liar, were other women. And it's like, what the fuck do y'all even gain from that? What do you gain from that? Like, reading that stuff really made me sad. Like, it really hurt my heart because I love women so much. Like, particularly black women. I feel like that's who I'm talking to right now because I can't relate to being a white woman. I can't relate to being an Asian woman. I can't relate to being any other race of woman except for a black woman. So that's who I'm talking to right now. I love being a black woman so much. I love other black women so much. But sometimes, y'all, we can be really mean and petty towards each other for absolutely no reason. And when I say no reason, I mean like men, status and popularity, career ambitions, or anything else that does not matter. And to me, when I sit and think about it, that hurts. And this is not being a pick-me or me caping for men in any way or like trying to point the finger at women and women only. No, this is just me saying, like, sisters, we have to be nice to each other. and lift each other up, because literally no racial group in America, in the world, gives a shit about us like we give a shit about us, you know? And I just want us to be more self-aware when we're being catty and we're being petty. And like I said, call each other out on it, or call ourselves, like check ourselves when we're being catty and petty. And my friends and I were actually talking about this whole topic the other day. And my friend Shalom, shout out to Shalom at NYU, she introduced me to Roxane Gay, who's a writer, commentator, and a professor. And Roxane Gay actually wrote a book of essays called Bad Feminism. And of course, a bunch of other literature on the topic, like feminism, racial issues from her experience. She talks about gender identity, sexuality, etc. And so Shalom sent me this link to an excerpt from her book where she lists all the 13 rules for female friendships. And in this list, there's a bunch of gems, but the main one that hit me was rule number 5C. And she says, quote, "Don't tear other women down, because even if they're not your friends, they are women, and this is just as important. This is not to say you can't criticize other women, but understand the difference between criticizing constructively and tearing down cruelly." End quote. And I think a lot of people are missing that point. Like, it is okay to offer an opinion of someone's work or the way that they behave or maybe how they dress, whatever. But it's completely different to bash a person to the point of gossip, or to the point where if they actually heard what you said, like, hands would be thrown. And at some point, where does it stop? Like, how do we curb that behavior? How do we move forward? Because it's so easy to move backwards. It's so easy to go in on another woman and not care because they made us upset, or they took our man, or they hurt us, or whatever. But I think we got to remember how much power words actually have, like myself included. Sometimes I say stuff about other women, or I have said stuff in the past about other women, and I sit back now and I'm like, damn, that was petty. That was a low blow for sure. And at the time, I knew that that was a low blow, and I knew that that was the thing that was going to tear her down or to hurt her. But in that moment, I felt like I won. And I'm here to say that that mentality is so damn childish. It's so childish. And I don't want to be that person anymore. And I've realized now that I gained nothing from that. Like I said, like I thought that I won in that moment, but really I just made myself look childish as hell and goofy as hell, because I disrespected to another woman to the point where if she said that to me, shit would have been going down. Basement, Friday the 13th, and bitch, I would have been Jason. So I think that it's time to now curb that behavior, now that I've called myself out on it and now that I've made myself accountable for it. I think the first step in moving forward is just being open and honest when it happens and catching it when it happens, because it's easier to try to correct a mistake before you make it than to try to do damage control. Because in these situations, there is no damage control. Once you say whatever you're thinking in your head that you know is going to tear someone down, that's it. You can't take it back. You cannot take that shit back. So in the name of transparency, at this moment, I want to start my apology tour, because I want to take the time to publicly apologize to the women that I've talked down on, disrespected in any way, any woman that I've hurt using my words, because I know I have a sharp tongue, y'all. I know I'm a work in progress. And to any of the women who felt like I haven't been a good sister to them, because remember, y'all, sisterhood isn't just about, being a good sister to the women that you're already friends with. It applies to all women. So with that being said, I'm genuinely sorry. I'm sorry. Alexa plays Sorry for 2004 by Ruben Studdard, because the older I am, the more I can spot my own toxic and negative behaviors and just be like, damn, why was I like that? Why did I react that way towards her? It's not necessary. It's not. And, at a certain point, you realize, like, this is another woman, and I should not be talking to other women like that, period. Like, there's no excuse for my behavior. And I told y'all in the last episode, like, I have conversations with myself. And before I go on a tangent about being shitty toward other women, like, I have to be introspective and say, well, damn, how have I contributed to the cycle? How have I reacted similarly to the woman that I'm frustrated by? And when I was looking at these patterns, I've noticed that I just have a tendency to just lash out. And the first thing that I come to my mind, the best low blow or the best comeback that I can think of is the one that I'm going to say. Instead of being like, hey, you hurt me. And I would love to talk to you about how you hurt me. Instead of doing that, because that's the mature way. People don't want to do the mature way. People never want to do the right thing. Fucking Spike Lee. But people never want to do the right thing. And so once I saw that, I was like, yo, I got to work on myself. Like, first of all, I have a younger sister, and I have a lot of younger women who I went to school with or known in the past. And at some point, you start to feel this obligation. It's like an unspoken obligation. Like, I have to be an example for them. And if I'm sitting here tearing other women down or being a bad feminist or whatever you want to call it, like, what does that show them? How are they going to react to seeing that? If my sister hears about me, like, cussing other women out or, like, being catty towards another woman, what does that teach her? At 15 years old, what does she learn from that? She learns literally to do the same thing or react the same way because she sees that it has no effect on me. When it kind of does, though, because, like, I'm ruining relationships with women who I love and who I appreciate, or maybe women that I admire and I'm coming off to them as a bitch, and I shouldn't be doing that. Like, I literally have been treating my life like an episode of the Bad Girls Club or like Love and Hip Hop, and I'm calling myself out right now. I need to grow up and I have to do better, period. And it's no excuse for my behavior, as I said before. So just with anything else that I've talked about in the previous episode, I'm working on this too, and I really, really hope that my listeners will join me in this journey and will help me break this cycle, because we have to. Like, I can't even put into words the work that we have to do as women moving forward and the work that I have to do on myself. But it's easier when you have someone to hold you accountable for your actions, So I hope that y'all listening will join me, but also hold me accountable at the same time. Like, call me out. Like, if you hear me, if somebody makes me mad and you just hear me saying low blows or whatever, just be like, low. Girl, that's uncalled for. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like, yank me by my wig clips. Please, yank me up by my wig clips. I give y'all permission. And so, before I go, I just want to thank y'all again for tuning in. Like, from the bottom of my heart, I just appreciate y'all's support. Like, people reaching out to me with kind words and, telling me that my episode was really introspective and inspiring and it opened your minds. First of all, I didn't even know that men were listening. So to the men that have listened to my episode and you, like, got something out of it, shout out to you. Shout out to you, because that made me feel good. Like, knowing that people who aren't in my target audience are listening and are gaining something from it, it's like, damn, girl, you got that magic. But yeah, y'all, keep your kind words coming. Keep the support coming, because some days I need it more than others. And just hearing from y'all, my supporters and my friends, and just people saying how much they love me, being authentically myself, that felt good. That felt good, y'all. And after this episode, I'm going to give me some hot tea. I'm going to rub some castor oil on my edges. And I'm going to just love myself, because y'all love me. And it all feels good. You know what I'm saying? So don't forget to... Don't forget to rate, review, follow, and subscribe to this podcast. And if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at Shaking the Table Podcast, and follow me on Instagram at Lauren Taylor. I love y'all. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.